What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be talking about some of the big disadvantages of taking out student loans. So today we'll focus on why you should not take out student loans or things to think about before taking out those loans. So let's get into it. So you guys already know I've done a ton of videos about taking student loans, why you should take student loans, the options that are out there for you. I have done so many videos, so if you're interested in that, make sure you check out some of those videos. Now, today's video is about why you shouldn't take student loans or like some of the disadvantages. So I put out some of these loan videos and a lot of you asked me, or some of you asked me questions about like, can you talk about the disadvantages of taking student loans? So I'm just going to try in today's video. It will be like a chit chat, not super structured. So we'll just talk about what I think about taking out student loans and maybe why you should really think deeply about it and maybe why you should not. So let's get into today's video. Okay, so guys, where do I start? I'll just say I don't think there are big disadvantages, right? But like with everything, you need to like think about it. You need to think twice or think deeply or like really plan or be deliberate. I guess that's the word. Be deliberate about like taking out student loans, right? Don't just take out student loans because like, oh, I don't have any funding, I'll just take student loans. You need to really think about it. The toughest part of taking out student loans is the repayment. That is it. And in many of these countries like the US, people are willing to give you loans. The real issue is how do you pay back, because there's so many implications, especially like when you live in the US or in Canada or in the UK. There's so many implications for not paying back your loans that are like that could impact your entire life, right? Now, remember, some of these countries are like big credit economies, so you taking out loans and defaulting could impact your chances of like getting any other kind of loan or any other kind of financial service. So you need to know that it's a major decision, right? You can just think about, oh, it's just to fund my education. You're responsible for it and it could impact you. So I just wanted to put that out there first. Now, that said, I I think if you're taking out loans, I already know, I believe every student should really think about like the programs they go into, how lucrative those programs are and stuff like that. But if you are taking out student loans and you're taking out big student loans, I think you need to even pay extra attention to the kind of programs you're applying to. This is what I mean. You may not agree with me, and that's fine, okay? But this is what I mean. Paying back student loans is hard. I took out a lot of loans, and I told you guys I'll share my loan repayment journey at some point. But taking out student loans and paying back is hard. If you are going into a program or a field that is not very lucrative, you could sink like this, because the interest, especially if you're an international student, you're getting crazy high interest, right? Interest rates. While you're just chilling at home, your loans are increasing. Your indebtedness is like is increasing basically. While from day one of taking out the loans, while you're still in school, you already incur interest, and I've explained all of this in previous videos. From day one of taking out the loans, from the day you start your program and you're taking loans, interest begins to accrue, and so you need to be deliberate about paying back. Now, I think going into a more lucrative field can help you pay your student loans faster than going into a field that is less lucrative. So I don't think you should go into a field you don't like just because you're taking out student loans. But I'll just say, think about it, right? Really, really, really think about it. Sometimes some people say, I'm going to go into this field for some time right after graduation. Once I pay back a good portion of my student loans, I'm going to get out of this field. And hopefully that process is easy. But the point is, you need to be deliberate you don't have that luxury of time if you take out really big student loans. I'm just trying to get real with you guys. The truth is, getting into a lucrative field can really help you. So really think about it. If you are trying to choose between two different fields or two different programs, think about that. What kind of jobs can I get once I graduate? That is one question you should ask yourself. If you are not planning to get jobs and you want to do a startup, you should also think about like the potential or the possibility that that startup will be successful and by when, so you can start paying. Remember, startup founders don't even pay themselves at the beginning. So put all of that into consideration. Like really plan like your life right after graduation, because interest rates are not nice. Especially if you're an international student. Before you know it, that loan could double. That loan amount could double, and that's crazy. So wanted to put that out there. Let's continue. So guys, another thing I think it's important for me to say in this video is, guys, always explore scholarships first. And you may say, oh, but the school didn't give me any scholarship. That's not what I'm saying. Like, hustle, if that's the word. It's not supposed to be negative, but hustle out getting funding from the school, from organizations, from your home country, from governments. Like, it is worth that work. I know a lot of scholarship applications require you to write essays and essays and essays, and sometimes you get rejected, but keep trying. Keep trying. When you sit, like after you graduate and you have to pay back $100,000, sis, it's not funny. You will wish you wrote those essays. So as much as possible, explore all the scholarships you can potentially qualify for, that you're eligible for. Explore those. I've shared a lot of like strategies for getting more funding from schools. Negotiation is one of them. I share all these videos and some of you comment about like how it's not possible, all of that. I'm telling you things I've done. I'm telling you things I've done and helped many people do. So just take it from me that as much as possible, explore, like keep trying to get scholarships. If the school says we don't have enough funding, email them again. Apply to governments that fund international, like students from all over the world. Apply to your home country. There are usually all these philanthropists in your home country that fund students to go abroad and all of that and pay for their fees. Explore everything. I know people that randomly messaged rich people in their home country and they replied and supported them. So guys, I know it's not easy. Like, see, I've gone through this process. It's hard writing all those essays and you get rejected and all of that, and also emailing people randomly. Just do what you can before you like take out student loans, because it's totally worth it. Taking out student loans is great, but the truth is you may not get that kind of job you think you get straight out of school. So it becomes really hard and it just like affects your entire life. That's it. That's one thing I wanted to mention. Another thing, guys, is think about the country you're going to. Some economies are a lot bigger than others. Some economies, it's a lot easier to find well-paying jobs compared to other like economies. So think about your destination very well and what works or what sells in that destination. If you're going to the US, what kind of jobs are out there in the US? If you're going to Canada, what kind of jobs are out there in Canada for me, for my kind of field? What do people typically do? I advise many of you to speak with like current students, previous students that did the same program. And many people, more than I expect, don't even know how to reach out to people on LinkedIn. Anyway, that's story for another day. Find people that went to your program and ask them the tough questions. Ask them, where did you get a job? What kind of job? How much, if they're willing to share, how much do people earn in this kind of job on average? Guys, do it. It's totally worth it. Just do all your homework before you commit to like going to the school and taking out loans, right? That's one other thing, I think you should do before you take out loans. And then also there's some countries where if you do a STEM program, it's just more lucrative, or if you do a STEM program, you have a lot more funding opportunities think about this when you're applying to schools. And I always say the best time to think about funding is at the beginning, while before you even apply to any school. That's when you should think about how you would fund the program if you get in. So that said, so all of that said, let's kind of talk about like how these whole students taking out student loans thing could impact you. One is it could impact your credit score. So in many of these countries you're going to for school, they have a credit scoring system, and if you have a low credit score, like a very low credit score, it impacts how much financial services like credit or even any other financial product that you can get. If you default on your loan, it's a bad thing for your credit score. That's basically what I'm saying. Now, if you take out too much student loans and you default, you're not paying back the amount that is expected, it would impact your credit score. And because your credit score has been impacted, you cannot buy a car on credit, which is what people do here. You cannot buy a home on credit. It's going to be harder for you. You cannot get access to other financial products, which is how people build wealth here. It just keeps impacting everything. Some cities like New York City, you cannot rent a good apartment without a good credit score. That's it. That's how it works. So it impacts almost like every area of your life. So you just want to like think about that. So that's one area that could be impacted if you take out student loans and you are unable to pay back. There's also, I've talked about interest rates, but there's also the risk of bankruptcy, which is extreme. It will not happen to you. You will not go bankrupt, but hey, it happens, right? And it usually starts with like not being able to pay back your loans. So all of that said, my point is there's no real disadvantage to taking out loans as long as you're very deliberate about when you take out the loans, how much you take, and how you plan to pay back. That's the most important thing. Be deliberate. Like taking out loans is easier than paying back. All these things you guys are complaining about, oh, I applied to Prodigy, they did not do this or whatever. It's nothing. When you start paying back, it's a lot, and you really need to be deliberate about it. So you need to be deliberate about how you take out loans and if it's the right step for you, given like your own circumstance. So that said, I don't think there's a big disadvantage, but if you have thoughts or you disagree with me, share in the comments. If you also agree with me, share in the comments why you agree. Let's just have a conversation about this. I feel like this is an important topic, but point being, be deliberate. Be very deliberate about taking out loans. And that's it on today's video. I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to comment, put a comment in the comment section. If you like your experiences about like taking out student loans, if you've had student loans, how you were able to pay back, and also like if you think there are any big disadvantages of taking out student loans. So I'll see you in my next video.